Donald Trump is showing some proof of life after he's really been nowhere to be seen after the shutdown took place. He hasn't held any public press conferences or public events, but the White House just posted this video of the new ambassador to Sweden being sworn in, and you could kind of see Donald Trump there for just a moment. So I guess this is their proof of life video as more Americans continue to blame Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans for this shutdown by large amounts. Here, let me just show you this proof of life. Here, play this clip.
I am about to enter.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
So I guess that's purporting to be their proof of life video. Let me just show you how the American people are feeling about this government shutdown right now. You had Harry Enton on CNN. Here he breaks it down. According to all the major polls, New York Times, Marist, Washington Post, by large amounts, the American people are rightfully blaming Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans for the Trump shutdown, as the MAGA Republicans refuse to extend the Affordable Care Act subsidies and want to remove tens of millions of people off of health care. All they have to do is just extend these subsidies and protect people's health care, like a very basic right. That should be a basic right. Here, play this clip of Enton.
But here's the thing to keep in mind. Blame more for the 2025 shutdown. Who do Americans blame more? They blame Republicans. The New York Times, by 7 points, they blame Republicans in Congress and Donald Trump. In Marist, look at that. Blame Trump and Republicans by 12 points. How about Washington Post? By a 17-point margin. When you look at the data, what you're actually seeing is that more Americans are blaming Republicans than Democrats, which I think really goes against the conventional wisdom, because a lot of folks are saying, hey, Democrats are so divided. But at this particular point, Americans are placing the blame on the Republican shoulders. At least the plurality of them are.
All right.
So while that's going on, you have MAGA Mike Johnson holding another disastrous press conference earlier this morning. Here, MAGA Mike is asked actually a good question by a Fox reporter who says, how could you say that you and Donald Trump are taking no pleasure or joy in this shutdown when you're saying that he's having fun and trolling and that this is all like funny to you all? Here, play this clip.
Chad, square something for me here. How can you say that they take no pleasure in this, and then the next minute say, oh, they're just having fun and trolling people? This is a government shutdown. On one hand, you say this is very serious, that people's jobs are on the line. On the other hand, you say, oh, this is just fun and games and they're trolling.
So the effects are very serious on real people, real Americans. We support federal employees who do a great job in all these different areas, but what they're trying to have fun with, trying to make light of, is to point out the absurdity of the Democrats' position. And they're using memes and all the tools of social media to do that. Some people find that entertaining, but at the end of the day, the decisions are hard ones, and I'm telling you, they're not taking any pleasure in that. Yes.
Yes, he didn't really have a good response for that. And actually, it was a good question by the Fox reporter there. Another reporter then asks MAGA Mike Johnson, I think the central question here, right? This isn't about memes or sombreros or mocking or trolling, despite the fact that Donald Trump and MAGA Mike want to turn it into that types of discussion. The reporter asks MAGA Mike, do you commit to doing something to address the Affordable Care Act subsidies so that insurance premiums don't spike for Americans? And watch MAGA Mike Johnson's response. The answer basically is no, we're not going to do anything. And he thinks that Americans believe that their premiums are going down because of their disastrous budget bill. It's the opposite. And to me, this question is at the heart of what's really going on here when you remove all of the noise. Here, play this clip.
Is out with a new poll that shows overwhelming support, including among Republicans, to extend the Obamacare subsidies. I know you both said you want to reform them. So do you commit to doing something to address those subsidies so that insurance premiums don't spike for Americans?
Republicans commit to continue the work that we've already been doing and demonstrating to bring down costs and improve quality of care. We are committed to that, and we will do whatever is necessary to make it happen. This is one of many issues that have to be deliberated and discussed through our process. What we're asking the Democrats to do, I'll close as we began. Please open the government so we can do that work, so that all the members of both chambers can be here to do the work, to legislate and to deliberate. They've stopped our ability to do that with these political antics, and we hope it ends. Thank you all for being here.
And then MAGA Mike goes on Fox this morning, and he's asked a similar question because What the polling shows, and Fox realizes this, and they realize that their viewers are either on Medicare, Medicaid, or an Affordable Care Act plan, almost certainly, that 71% of Americans want to see Affordable Care Act subsidies extended. The other 29% are probably so far down a MAGA rabbit hole that they don't realize that they depend on either Medicaid, Medicare, or Affordable Care Act plans, and that if their subsidies increase, they can't afford it, but they'll F around and find out, apparently. But here's the question from Fox. So what about people who are not on Medicaid? They're on the ACA. They're worried they're going to lose their employer-sponsored health insurance or they won't be able to afford it. What's your response? Watch what MAGA Mike says. Here, play this clip.
Morning in the Wall Street Journal, she talks about Republicans, health care, the policy, and the messaging. Do you agree with her that the Republicans are weak, vulnerable on health care policy at this moment when a lot of Americans are saying they are worried about the high prices, but there's just very little discussion about why the prices are so high?
Exactly. We're all concerned about that. But if they look at the facts, Republicans are the ones that are solving the problem. In the big, beautiful bill, when we put the reforms in for Medicaid, what we've done is brought down the premiums and we have eliminated the fraud, waste, and abuse. The CBO is the analyst that just put that out, August 25th. Go look it up. And they said the CBO is not a Republican group. They're the neutral arbiters here. And they say the Republicans are right because what we did was save $185 billion of waste and abuse in the program with our reforms. And we're going to get 2.3 ineligible recipients off of that. That's those illegal aliens. That's the young, able-bodied men.
But what about
who are
people who
siphoning resources.
people who are not on Medicaid, people who are either on the Obama exchanges or are worried they're going to lose their employee-sponsored health insurance?
Yes, we have a lot of reforms that we need to push through, but the answer is not to grow government and further subsidize insurance companies, which is exactly what those subsidies do. It doesn't help bring premiums down. We got to do it for the people, not for the insurance companies. That's a pretty important distinction.
Sir, thank you for your time. Appreciate you coming on. I don't know, what are you getting, like 3 hours of sleep a night?
As California Governor Gavin Newsom says, translation, I don't give a shit. I'm raising prices and kicking them off because Donald Trump told me to do that. And here's the thing, the propaganda that they're spewing is so utterly detached from reality that every time they open up their mouths, because they're not addressing what's taking place and they're in power, they can try to blame Biden and Obama or whatever, but y'all are in power right now. And Donald Trump said that he was going to fix everything in one day. He's made things far worse. But you have like Lori Chavez DeRemer, the labor secretary. She's on Maria Bartiromo. And she's saying we've got momentum and job gains and everything is growing great right now and inflation is eliminated and everybody and consumer confidence has never been higher. And quite literally everything she says is false. Even Maria Bartiromo has to say, yeah, but all the job data is going in the wrong direction. Like, what are you talking about? Even Maria Bartiromo has to comment there. Here, play this clip.
But certainly in this administration and as a former member of Congress, for them to not see that they are hurting the American people. We've been on a momentum of job gains. We've been working so hard across the country to make sure that we are growing this economy and, really having the workforce investments that we've been doing to only see it come to a screeching halt. While we're not going to get the jobs numbers report because they will not open this government, we want to keep the momentum going. I mean, that's been the goal as I've traversed this country. We're seeing consumer confidence up. We're seeing businesses want to reinvest in their workforce. And this is only, a real screeching halt for the American people. And it's unfortunate that the Democrats don't see that they're fighting for the American people and they're going to pay.
Well, I mean, the data, though. You know where we are. I mean, we've had 3 months of slowing jobs. We know we don't have the numbers for September, but is there anything you could tell us about the jobs picture today?
Yeah, what we're seeing is the investments. And
now the Bureau of Labor Statistics is not publishing the employment data today because they're claiming because there's a shutdown, they're not going to report any employment data. Here's Lori Chavez DeRemer on CNN, where she's asked by the host, so private sector jobs from ADP are not great. So why are jobs lagging? And of course, she's going to blame former President Biden. Play this clip.
Okay, I mean, in the private sector jobs from ADP, not great, right? And if you look at the employment reports going back to the spring here, not great either. I mean, May was 19,000 jobs, June, 13,000 jobs, July, 76,000 jobs, August, 22,000 jobs. Pretty slow growth there. Why are jobs lagging?
Well, certainly what we inherited from the Biden administration, we have been working hard in this administration with the president, putting the American worker first.
Then you have Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries. I actually think he's been handling the messaging well now. Don't get me wrong, I was a little bit concerned before, but I think his messaging is on point right now, where he says, I'm not talking about the memes and the sombreros. He's like, where's Donald Trump? Where is this guy? We're ready to talk. We've always been ready to talk. We want to do it in public. We want to do it in front of the press. Let's go. Let's do this in public. And let's have everybody see what's really happening here. Watch Hakeem Jeffries here play this clip.
Because everything that President Trump has done subsequent to Monday has been unhinged and unserious. In fact, Donald Trump is in the Presidential Witness Protection Program. No one can find him when it comes to the government shutdown issue because he knows he's responsible for having caused it. And the behavior, the erratic behavior that we've seen is further confirmation of that unfortunate fact.
And then going back to MAGA Mike Johnson, just this word salad from this morning where he's like, he has the opportunity now to say this is a program that would serve the American people if it was not funded. So they're going to make those decisions. Are they talking about Rust vote? Are they taking great pleasure in that? No. But do they love trolling the Democrats? Yes. Stop with the trolling. Look, I'm all for humor. I'm all for an occasion, not all for trolling, but occasionally you want to be funny. There's a time and a place, but not when we're talking about tens of millions of Americans losing their health care and extending Affordable Care Act subsidies and a government shutdown. This behavior is so amateur and immature, and it's not funny behavior, and it's deeply unbecoming. That's the nicest thing I can say for the presidency. Play this clip.
But he has that opportunity now to say this is a program that would serve the American people if it were not funded, because government would be more efficient and effective, and that serves everyone. So they're going to make those decisions. Now, are they taking great pleasure in that? No. Is he trolling the Democrats? Yes. Yes, because that's what President Trump does, and people are having fun with this. But at the end of the day, the decisions are tough ones. And I've met with him. I talked yesterday at length with Russ Vought, who's the director of the Office of Management and Budget. Russ takes no pleasure in this. Russ wants to see a smaller, more efficient, more lean, effective federal government as we do, but he doesn't want people to lose jobs. He doesn't want to do that, but that's his responsibility. So he's very carefully, methodically, very deliberately looking through that to see which decisions can be made in the best interest of the American people. That's his obligation, and that's his real desire. The president takes no pleasure in this, but if Chuck Schumer is going to give Donald Trump the opportunity to determine what the priorities are, he's going to exercise that opportunity, and that's where we are. Chad.
Should also be noted as well this morning, the Trump regime blew up another fishing boat off the coast of Venezuela, which Pete Hegseth proudly showed the death video. They posted an ISIS-style death video. I'm not going to show that. They've got military trucks rolling through Chicago right now, ICE military trucks. I'll just show you a quick clip of that. Here, play this clip. And then Donald Trump posted this morning, he says, if Hamas doesn't reach an agreement must be reached with Hamas by Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Washington, D.C. time. Every country has signed on. If this last chance, and he puts that in caps, agreement is not reached, all hell, like no one has ever seen before, will break out against Hamas. There will be peace in the Middle East one way or the other. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Didn't he post the same message back in February? He said there was a deadline on Saturday and all hell is going to break loose. No, the problem is no one takes Donald Trump seriously anymore. His word means absolutely nothing. And people know that he'd rather just blow up a fishing boat off the coast of Venezuela and post death videos than actually put in the hard work to resolve issues. He promised that he was going to end the atrocities in Gaza in 24 hours. He's failed to do that. He said that he was going to end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. He's failed to do that. He said 24 hours after the election, it would be so super simple, he said, for him to do that. I showed you the video yesterday of the leaders of Albania and Azerbaijan with French President Emmanuel Macron laughing at the United States that Donald Trump claimed he brokered a peace deal between Albania and Azerbaijan, which didn't ever occur. They were just laughing at him. And then finally, I'll just show you this because this morning Donald Trump posts, I'm pleased to advise that I reverse cuts made to Homeland Security and counterterrorism for New York City and state. It was my honor to do so. Thank you for your attention to this matter, DJT. And just to show you that they lie about everything, actually what happened was a federal judge blocked the Trump regime from cutting $34 million in funds for New York counterterrorism. So a judge blocked Donald Trump from the cuts, and Trump's taking credit for reversing his own cuts that a judge blocked. Such is the state of the United States of America right now. We'll keep you posted every step. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.